Namaste, I'm Poonam Wadera, Vastu Wizard, Mahavastu expert, Business Astrovastu expert, and an astronumerologist. I'd like to first thank Mompreneur Circle to give me this opportunity to share more on how you can enhance the Ganesh festival celebrations with certain Vastu recommendations. In the earlier series, I have covered some things about pre-preparations as well as the directions where you can place Lord Ganesha. In this series today, I'm going to share in terms of what should you do for door decoration and some other tips. Why door decoration? Because the door is the connection between our conscious and our subconscious. Door has a great importance in Vastu. And when I relate it to the festival, it is through the door that we welcome the Lord Ganesha home. We bring him home, or we bring him to an office, or through the space through a door. And also your guests and loved ones come together to rejoice, to pray, and to be together in the celebrations through the door. That's why door decoration is quite important. Now, if you have a north door, when I'm saying north door, when you say the door north in Vastu, you exit in the north. So if you have a north facing door, that means from the center of your house, if you look at the main door and if you're exiting, it should be towards the north. So if it's a north facing door, you should add a little bit of water element. If you can't add water element, you should add a little bit of blue, because we say blue represents the water element. Now, how do you add the water element? You can add a fountain, a small water fountain. There are a lot of these small water fountains available in the market, and you can place a small water fountain exactly outside the door if there's a possibility to do that, or alternatively inside the main door. If you can't do that, what you could do is you can take a nice ball, fill it with water, fill it with flowers, and place that either either at the at your main door, or towards the outside, or towards the inside. So that's what you could do for the north door. Apart from that, when you are doing the decoration, I definitely recommend to do decorations with certain natural elements. Like there is the flowers, the flower petal decoration. You can also do, if you're doing rangoli, take natural colors. And when you are doing natural colors, I recommend that you add a little bit of haldi, that's turmeric, to it, because that's for the doors in all directions. Add a little bit of turmeric, because traditionally when colors were just being done, we did use a little bit of turmeric in the in the rangoli and the door decoration. So you can use a little bit of that. For the north door, I would recommend the main theme can be more based on yellow, greens, and a little bit of blue. That would be very, very beneficial in terms of for the north door decoration. If your door is in the opposite direction, that's towards the south, that's great news. So because there you can use a lot of warm colors. You can use reds, you can use pinks, you can use purples, and the main theme can be the warm colors, the rose petals or any other petals which are essentially pink, purple. So that can be the main theme of the door decoration. The reason I emphasize on natural decorations, because when you see something which is more natural, more in tune, and which is kind of flowing with the element, it tends to help the entire vibe. When you see a plastic flower and when you see a real flower, that's the difference. You'll understand when you look at a natural flower the way you feel, and when you look at a plastic flower the way you feel. So that's what I definitely recommend you to use natural, rangoli with natural flowers and some natural colors. So when it's a south door, do use the warm colors, rose petals, other pink flowers. Alternatively, what you could do is, if that is not possible, you can light a diya. The south door represents the fire element. You can light a diya, you can light a lamp, and then you can decorate. If there's not too much, you can just put few flowers around it. So that's how you would, decorate a south door. Apart from that, for all sides of the doors, I recommend you can put some hanging bells, or you can put some hanging stars. Essentially, the door should look as if, wow, there's some celebration happening in the home. The reason being that it's all about, like, I always say festivals are all about feeling, all about bringing the Lord home and inviting your dear, near loved ones home. So it's all about celebration, and it should look festive. So you can add, you have those hanging star lights, you have fairy lights, the lamps, flowers, just do everything that it looks festive. So that's generic for all doors. And then we come to the east door. If you have a east door, wow, even that's a great place to have, like like the main door. And there you could add a lot of green elements. So there are a lot of these decorations which happen with leaves. You should, east is known as the air element, representing also leaves and green color. There you should do a lot of green based decoration. So use a lot of leaves for decoration. You can also use a lot of oranges and yellow because it represents the sun color. So you can use a lot of oranges, you can use a lot of greens, yellows, and a mixture of all that. You can definitely use warm colors in the north door and the east door as well, but that should be less, like your reds, pinks, purples in the north door, and the east door should be minimal. The main theme should be towards green, orange, and yellow for the east door. And for the north door, I have said earlier that it should be yellow, green, blue. That's what. Then we come to the door which is west. In west, you can use a lot of bling. You can use gold, you can use silver, you can use a mix of multicolors, but definitely add a little bit of white. It's the space element. You can add white, you can add yellow flowers, you can add all the shiny, glitzy things that you get in decorations. Also, on all sides of the doors, if you can add a hanging bell, which is a traditional bell, even that is recommended because these bells do enhance, and also the entire jingle sound of the bell brings about a great vibration. So if you can have a bell around there, a hanging bell which can ring, not just for decoration but which can ring, that would be also a great idea. So this is as far as door decorations are concerned. Apart from that, my recommendation is, in terms of cleaning of the threshold or the main door. The main door itself, whether your door is in any direction, for at least from a day before you bring the Lord home to the time you do the final Visarjan, whether it is 2 days, 5 days, 11 days, people keep Ganpati Bappa home for 1.5 days, some people 3 days. So depending on this thing, depending on the duration, on all the days, I recommend that you clean your door as well, the main door. It should be cleaned. If you can use with very little salt, salt water, but with a very little salt. Alternatively, with neem water can be made. You can soak a few neem leaves in, say you can soak a handful of neem leaves in around 3 liters of water. With that water, after 15-20 minutes, just wipe your main door and the threshold. This is recommended in terms of just the cleansing of the energy, because there's a lot of people moving in and out of homes when there is celebration. One more recommendation is that whenever you are doing these decorations, and if you have the Lord Ganesha home for a long time, sometimes I've visited a few places where the flowers are drying out. Please do remember and change the decoration, or alternatively you can replace the part which has dried. Don't let dried flowers be on your main door for decoration. Many of you who order the the flower temple for the Lord to be seated, even there, if the flowers have dried out, even if it is like the main flower which is looking dry, I don't recommend dried flowers to be there as a part of the celebration, and where you are where you are placing the Lord. So if there is any flower which has dried out, please remove that out. Even if it does not look too great, you can replace it with a fresh flower. Apart from that, I recommend every day to make something fresh at home, either a sweet or a savory, and offer. And apart from that, one last tip before I log off is that just ensure that wherever the Lord is placed, there's some instrumental music playing in the background, even when there are guests, or alternatively, some kind of chants playing. That helps the vibe of this place, and also it brings about a sense of peace amongst the people who come in. So it can be chants, it can be bhajans, it can be instrumental music. So this is it for today's episode, and I hope this is beneficial to you in some way and you follow it. Thank you so much. Happy preparation. Happy Ganesh Chaturthi.